Hello folks, Scott Grove here. We are here to give you part 2, that's right, part 2, of our beginner electric rock guitar series. We're going to take you from beginner to what we call intermediate, which is halfway to pro. Pro is where you actually make money. You don't have to be any better than what you're going to be after this video to become a pro. A lot of bands out there that prove that. A lot of 3-chord bands out there. And they're making tons of money. Okay, where we left off on the first video was what we actually got through in the whole hour was we taught you how to play every single regular major chord. Okay, for anybody who is considering buying this without getting the first video, as long as you have the knowledge of how to play all your regular chords, which we did in the first video. Also in the first video we went over bar chords. Okay, we went over those and how to get those other sounds. Okay, so we have got to that point. We've also got around your basic blocking patterns. The stuff you're going to learn with pretty much any lesson you get out there. Today we are going to take this to a whole nother level. Okay, so what we're going to do with your chords and stuff, with your bar chords, we're actually going to go down to open positions and have a lot of fun with those. That being something like this. I'm just going to go out of the key of E and make something up as I go. So we'll be able to do that, okay? Even with your regular chords, like say your D chord, we can take this and do simple, easy things like... Okay, so I'll show you how to do stuff like that. You're just sitting there playing a D chord. You can also take that D chord and move it around. Okay, things like that. Okay, we're heading into the 80s music kind of stuff there. That was all done just using a D chord and moving it around. Okay, so we're going to be doing stuff like that too. We will also be exploring a little bit into a lead guitar area. I'm going to show you how to take like a regular A chord and how to actually start doing something with these things. So like say you're playing along the key of A, I'll show you this too. Now we're going to add something into this. Okay, it's going to change your whole outlook. So here's what's coming up in this video, just so you know if you want to pick it up or not. We're going to take that regular A and learn how to do this. Okay, so that's just a basic lead thing. We'll be able to do that in any key. Yeah, I'll show you how to play that in this video. Okay, so once again, that's the kind of stuff we're going to be doing in this video. If you're up for the challenge, come get it, kids. Take the ride if you dare. Once again, Scott Grove, welcome to our beginner rock and roll guitar series part 2. See you inside. Alrighty guys, we are back. Okay, this is about all you're going to see of me for the whole hour. One thing, if you're checking out this guitar, this actually came back from the 1980s, just to do you a quickie. I know it has nothing to do with anything, but I'd like to show these things off. This here is actually a Takamine. They made them back in the 80s. I know they're famous for their acoustics. but they made their wild electric guitars, very few of them. They're starting to do it again finally, but they had cool 80s rock guitars. As you can see, this is no bolt-on neck thing. This is actually neck through, all glued in, whatever. Beautiful thing, cool guitar. Okay, so what we're going to get on with is from the first video. If you guys remember everything, hopefully. We're going to start with what I showed you in the intro. I'm going to show you how to be doing this. That kind of stuff. Okay, so we're going to be in the key of E. Okay, a lot of this is going to be in your right hand too, and I'll show you that when we go. Okay, so what we're going to concentrate on, I'm going to turn the volume knob up just a little bit. As you turn your volume knob up, you start to lose some of your distortion, or as you turn it down actually, your distortion goes away. Check this out. So now we're just left down to what we can just barely hear, and there's hardly any distortion. I'm going to show you that way to begin with so you can hear all the notes, then we'll crank up the fun stuff. Okay, so we're starting on the low E string, putting our first finger on the second fret of your A string, and with our right hand we're just playing those two strings. That's the only two strings we're going to play. Best thing to do is take the palm of your hand right here, anchor it against the bridge on your guitar. Hopefully it's not floating around in one of them whammy things. Otherwise, try to find a place on your guitar close to it to anchor it down. So the only thing you're moving is your thumb and your finger and part of your wrist. You're not moving your arm doing this. We want to just... That's what your whole hand's going to look like while we're playing. Okay? So here we go. Use your pause button, use your rewind button, because I'm blasting through this stuff today. You're going to get the most for your money. So use those as much as you need to. If I get ahead of you, go back. Pause it, get it right, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we have our finger at the second fret on the A string, and we're playing the two notes together. That's our basic rhythm pattern we're going to be doing. So we're going to be taking our third finger and putting it up on the fourth fret on the A string. So what we're doing with our right hand is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and... Now what you're going to see is, I know this is a heck of a stretch, but you get to do it. It's all, if it hurts, it's weird, it's all about where your elbow and your wrist is. Do something. It's not supposed to be uncomfortable. It will not hurt unless you're doing it wrong. If you're doing it wrong, it will hurt. So keep moving it around till it just feels nice and natural. You never see people on stage hurting and in pain, so it's not supposed to hurt to play. It's just a matter of getting used to where it's supposed to be. Okay, with this 1 and 2 and junk counting I'm doing, is your finger that's going to go down on the fourth fret on the A string only is there for the number 2 that I'm counting out loud. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and... That's what you're thinking in your mind, 1 and 2 and before long you're not thinking at all, you're just going to feel this. And so you're only slapping it down for the 2, then it gets off. Okay? So if you crank up the distortion, crank up your volume, and just play that. And 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Okay, so that's where you get that. Okay, now if you want to let off of the muting thing and... Okay, what I'm actually doing is I'm barring my finger here, my first finger, across the second frets of both the A and the D string. So I get a second E note right here. So you get all 3. So I'm chunking away on the bottom 2 strings. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and... So everything's down. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and... When I say and, I'm pulling up starting from the D string. Okay, so I'm actually coming with the pick from the D string right there. And finally letting off of my muting. So that's what we have now. Okay, this is a good place to pause and learn all this stuff, because I'm going to keep blasting. So pause this thing, learn that, get it, jam it. Before you do it, take the whole thing down, one string down to the A. Just take from here, just take it down one. Do the same thing, but you're just going to be starting on the A string, not the low E string, the A string. Do the same thing. Back to E. Back up to A. Okay? So work on that for a while. Get that down, then come back to this point in the video. Okay, so we're back for this. Now what we're going to do is add some flavor in here. Little Flavor Flav if you guys was into that stuff. Hopefully not, but it happens. I know we all get stupid moments. At least we're not all Kanye interrupting Taylor Swift here. Sorry, the flavor of the week here. I got to throw that in there. That just happened a couple days ago if you want to know how old this video is. Anyway, so the flavor we're going to add, I'm going back down here with the volume so you can hear it. So we're back in the E. Okay, now when we do that letting off of the muting thing, we naturally hit that high E note. The one that I told you that we're barring is what we're going to play next. Okay, just for some flavor. Okay, and once you have these notes, you can screw around with these notes in it as much as you want, because you could do. Don't just play it the way I show you. Go around, screw around with it like that. You got the notes, put them in different orders, okay? So that's what it's all about, making your own thing, because otherwise we would all be playing the exact same song. If people didn't screw around and try to invent something new. Okay, so from that E note, we're going to learn this real quick. So you have that E on the 2nd fret of your D string. So we're hitting it twice. Or you can even play the two together. What we're doing there is all on the A string. We're going, or your ring finger, 5th fret. Sliding it down, we're only picking it once. Now we're doing what's called a pull off. So we're only hitting our pick one time. Okay? So you got, you're just pressing so hard that it just keeps carrying over. Then you actually pull off. What a pull off is you take that finger that's on the 4th fret and you pull it off of there. You're actually acting like you're picking it. See that motion there? So you actually, instead of picking it, you're picking it with your finger. Okay? I know it sounds weird, and this is another pausing moment. Okay? You can pick them all, and there is a place for that. Okay, because here it is, I'll show you the place. That's what it sounds like picking it. When we're doing it the way I'm doing it, just slightly different. So try both, see what you like, use it. So we have. And on the low E string, we're going to do basically the same thing, but we're only going to use our middle finger. You're doing completely. Another slide from the G note, which is the 3rd fret, your first dot there, to the 2nd fret. Again, you're only hitting this one time. And you just pull off of it. Best way to do it is to go down, like I'm showing you here. Pick it down and cover up your A string to keep it from making noise, because if you don't, accidentally end up picking other strings. So go and just pull down on it and let it loose. Okay, so you've got I'll get the right hand in the picture. Okay, so that's the lick. Okay, if you're coming back up the other way, just opposite way. Okay, so see, it's the same notes, it's just a matter of what order you put them in. That there is twice on the low E. I'm going from, actually this time, from the 3rd fret, doing what's called a hammer-on, 3rd fret to 4th fret actually, so it's one note difference. Again, you don't pick that note the second time. It's called a hammer-on because you actually use your finger here, your ring finger, as like a hammer, and you slam it onto the 4th fret, so you have notes on the 2nd fret on the A string, then 4th fret, slide it up. You know the rest of that. You already got that. So that's where you get that. Again, we're going to blast it. Here it is. Okay, and you can add that, play half of it. It's all using only what I showed you. It's a matter of how much you're muting something or what order you're playing those exact notes in. Now to get that is a whole different animal. I'll give it to you real quick. We're not going to concentrate on it. That is a combination of your thumbnail and your pick. They have to be hitting the string. You have to hold your pick in such a manner that your thumbnail and the side of your pick actually hit the string at the same time. Okay, this is a hard one to get used to. Pause this for like 3 days till you get this. But you'll mess around if you're playing a note, like I'll just do open E. I know, cool, huh? But as you're playing along, just mess it up until you get that to happen. It's just something I can't teach you, nobody can teach you, other than your thumbnail and your pick are actually hitting the string at the same time. These are called false harmonics. And they change sounds from wherever you play them at. So, I'll just play that. That takes some getting used to, and only you will find that secret. Other than the fact that I told it to you. I'm like that magician guy on TV that reveals all the magician secrets. Okay, so again, I was just playing like that, but doing what I showed you. Just to show you how cool this little stupid thing can be. Okay, because this is what the big boys play, and that's how they get the cool sounds. But they have to practice it, practice it, practice it, practice it. Okay, so it's all in the practicing, kids. I know you hate to practice, but you got to do it. You want to be a rock god. All the chicks will dig you. Okay, same thing on the A string, exactly. Okay, what else I got to show you is what we were doing a second ago. Let's go back to the E. I'll barely turn up the volume. We want your ring finger to go up another fret from what we've been doing. Okay, so here's what it's going to be. It's just the same as, it's all part of that, but that's just a good rhythm thing to have behind you. So frets number on the A string, 2, 4, 5. You can't hardly do it. You can try to use your pinky if you want. I always happen to do it that way, but use that also, because here is an example of it in E and switching to A. Okay, so that's where that comes from, is by simply adding that one extra note. Okay, so like I said, I'm blasting through this. Use that pause button and take a couple days. I'm going to take a couple drinks of my iced tea. Ah, much better. It is hot as all get out. But at least you got me and Jimmy. Yeah, there's Jimmy. Helping you out today. Okay, when I had said something earlier, we're going to get into some lead stuff. Let's do it now. No better time than the present, kids. Okay, so we're going to go to A. Okay, I know, here's the normal A most of you guys play, and if you were with me last time, you'll know that you can just play A string and then the next 3 strings with your finger barred across it. Once again, spelled B-A-R-R-E. I don't want no illiterate children out there, so I'll teach you how to spell as we go. So you're just covering over the D, G, and B strings with one finger. Get it close to the fret. You get it back here. You know, all of a sudden you've got farts going on. We don't need farts. It's never a good thing unless you're alone. We won't get into that. Okay, so we're doing the A. Now what I want to teach you is a basic way to get instant good lead sounds. We talked hammer-ons and pull-offs earlier. By golly, that's what we're going to do here right now. So you've got these notes. I'm going to have you on the 4th string or D string. That one. It should be that note you're hitting, so make sure you're hitting the right note. And then I'm going to have you follow it up by putting your ring finger on the 4th fret. Same thing on your A or your G string, the next one down. You're actually playing an A note because we're in A. That's always going to determine where we are at because you're playing an A. So, same thing on the next string. Now the next one is different. On the B string, we're going to go. Why? Because if you notice how to tune a guitar, you get to that B, you got to go down to the 4th fret and everything gets screwy. So guitar is not perfect, and that's why we have to change the pattern. So you have this on the 4th, and we're going to hammer it on. Watch my right hand over here, the one with the pick. Next string. So I'm only hitting each one once. They're hammering on. Just like I showed you, so from 2 to 3 on your B string. And you can go add the 5 with your pinky if you've got the strength, or when you get the strength. I'm not going to say if. So when you get the strength. Those are the notes we're looking for. If you want to finish it up, you can actually go to the high E string. It's back to normal again because of the tuning. Your 2nd fret, because you're barred across it, it's the only time you use it if you're playing lead, otherwise leave that string alone. 2nd fret, 4th fret with your ring finger, 5th fret. Finally is your A again on your high E string. So you have. Okay, we can go to the 5th fret on your B string too. Okay, I want you to do that actually, so you'll know all the notes you can play. Now on your B string, 2, 3, 5. On your E string, it's 2, 4, 5. Okay, so here they are. Backward 2. And you can stop there at the A. But learn that, okay? Because that's the trick to everything. I'm going to show you this. I'm on the D string, I'm doing frets 2, 4, 2. Only as one note. Hammer on, pull off. on that, hit pause, work on that for half an hour. I'm not kidding. Really, I'm not. Get that. Get it on the next string. Make that happen. You're going to hurt for a while, but you're going to get it and it'll be there for life. Now do the two together, one of each. I know. Yes, you can do that. Everybody can do that. Again, all it takes is practice and me to show you how to do it. Guess what? Yeah, I'm going to have you add in the next note too. Yeah, so you can add all that junk in. It gets to the point, just to show you in the long run, what you're going to actually end up with. You wonder how the big boys do it? That's how they do it, okay? But this is the beginning of that, okay? So this is the beginning of your lead. Now if you play each of these as single notes without doing the hammer on, then the pull off, you play each note, you have lead guitar again in a different way. Somebody, your rhythm guitar player, is playing in A. He's doing that. What are you doing? If you're supposed to be like a lead guitar player by chance, just say you're going to be him. It's always great to be him. He's the guy that gets chicks. Or vice versa. You girls out there are rocking these days too. So if you pick each of those notes, that's each of the notes I showed you. Same notes I showed you. Just a scale is what it's called. Major pentatonic scale, if you ever want to know. Pentatonic, I don't know what it means. It sounds like pentagram, sounds like the devil. Ooh, ah, spooky. Okay, let's move on. That, if you pick each note, is what you would be playing behind the guitar player. Okay, so those are the notes. You just have to play those notes and pick out what order sounds good for you. That's all there is. I'm just teaching the rules. And you don't have to keep this formation. Just look at what it was. And it looks cooler if you look at it, memorize it, take your hands off, and play each note. See, it looks cooler. You look like a rock god now, okay? So that's the secret to looking cool, other than how you dress and so forth, okay? So now, go work on that. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. I'm going to give you the most bang for your buck here, kids. Okay, what we're going to do with that is show you how to do now bends. These hurt. Only for a little while, just like everything. It only hurts for just a little bit. Okay, so from there, this is the hardest part because it's harder to bend the further, closer to the nut of the guitar you get. It's harder to bend a string up in the air. See if I can show you what I'm doing. I cheat by putting another finger behind it to help bend on as many of these as I can. When you get way up here and start bending, it gets really easy. But I'm not going to start you off with easy. Because way up there is, believe it or not, not a whole new ball game. I'll be there in 5 minutes and we'll play up there, okay? But first we're going to get right here. We're in A again. Surprise, I'm turning down the volume again. So you can hear what's going on without masking it over with a bunch of distortion, which is wonderful, but here's where we're going to be able to hear it. So in A, on the A note on your G string, 2nd fret, I want you to play just that note. So 3rd string, 2nd fret, your ring finger is going to go to the 4th fret. Keep that first finger there, because it's going to help you bend this up. Otherwise, it's going to be like putting your finger through a cheese grater and you're going to slice off half your finger. Not really, but it's going to feel like it. So it's going to help you bend this up. What we are going to do is take both fingers and push this string. I'm going to play it over here with my right hand. Hopefully you can see it in frame. I'll make sure you do. I don't have the luxury of split cameras here. Just a poor white boy. So 2nd fret, 4th fret, keep this finger here. So what we need to do is bend it up to what it sounds like, that note, which is the 6th fret. So try to bend this using both fingers up until it hits that. When you let go of it, you don't want other strings to hit, so just be careful. And then we're bringing it back down. So here's what we're after. So that's called bending it up a whole step. What a step is 2 frets. That's what it means. From here, 1, 2. So you're going 2 frets difference. Half step is, guess what? Half of that. So 1 fret. So we don't want to bend it from here to, because that would just be. All of a sudden you sound like you're doing snake music. You know, or something like that. You know, it goes somewhere there. But we don't want snake music, we want rock and roll. With distortion, what's that sound like? That's how you've heard that a million times. That's how you get it. Using that finger and thumbnail thing. That was all thumb tricks, but only using that same bend. And you gotta move the guitar around. Why? Because you have to. It looks cool. You know, take it, smash it, whatever. Don't smash your bass guitar. Go get one from the thrift store. Do that with. But that's how you get that. Work on bending that. Exactly right. Okay, I told you we're going to go up here, and we're going to go up here. We're going to tame this beast. What a guitar does, as I explained to you in the first video, there's a reason on your guitar, whether it be on the front of the neck. Some guitars don't have any dots at all on the front, but they always have the little dots on the sides. These are your position markers or your fret markers that tell you where you're at. So what we're looking for is the 2 dots. Whether the 2 dots be here at the 12th fret or whether they be here on the side of your guitar. They will be there. So that lets you know that is the 12th fret. What is the 12th fret? That is where your guitar starts over again. This is an E string, so that's an E note. Guess what? If you put your finger on the 12th fret up here where the double dots are, that's an E also. Your guitar just happens to start over here. So your guitar is only actually from here to here. Just like a piano has, like, 10 octaves on the thing. So that's an octave from here. They are both E notes, just one at the 12th fret is an octave higher, meaning it's 12 notes higher. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so you get up to 12, and it's an octave higher. So you're going E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. You're back to where you started. Guess what? You start there again. E, F, F sharp, G, same as the others. So whenever you see this, look at it as it was just the guitar starting over. Pretend that is this, the nut of the guitar. And everything I've showed you so far, if you're playing an A here, guess what? That's on the 2nd fret. Pretend the guitar starts over again, because it does. So starting from there, go up to the 2nd fret. Yeah, go up to the 2nd fret. Guitar starts over here. This is not 12th fret anymore. That's the second. That's the first. Actually, 0. That's the nut. Go up from there. Excuse me. That was the guitar. I promise. See? I gotta tighten that up. So that is 0. Go up to the 2nd fret. 1, 2. Now you're playing A again. I just showed you some stuff in A. Hammer-ons, pull-offs. Much easier to do up here. Your fingers are closer together. The frets are real far apart down here. But you do it back up to the 2nd fret, which is actually 14th fret, but we're psyching you out because that is 0, 1, 2. You're back in A again. So you know where you're at way up here now. Because it's the same thing as over here. 2 frets is where you're at. Now you're on 2nd fret again. So do the same thing. You start playing them now. Give some of those, this is called vibrato. I know I'll get back to the bending thing in just a second, but as I see stuff, I'm going to call it vibrato. Take that string and work on giving it this motion. You don't want it to go. That's not what we want. If you can do it with your middle finger, that, if you can see that, that actually has a purpose other than making it wobble a little bit, or warble as they call it. That keeps the note sustaining. Sustaining means that it keeps going. If you have insight, it sustains your performance. It's the same thing as insight or the little blue pill, Viagra. It keeps you going. So by doing that, you actually, it's the Hendrix trick. If you remember at the beginning, Purple Hey Foxy Lady, I think actually it was, he's just sitting there, he don't even grab a note. He just goes up here and just grabs this and takes the note, grabs it, puts his finger there, and then starts doing that thing. And he just starts shaking it. That's how he got that sound. If you ever want to know, that's how you get it. If you ever want to know, that's an E note. So you're at the, I'm just showing you junk off the top of my head, 9th fret on the G string. There's your E. You just take your finger there, try to make everything else quiet, turn your distortion on as much as you can. Put your finger down on that note, then start slowly doing that. Vibrato is what it's called, that warble. And the more you shake that thing, try not to hit the other strings, and you turn your amp up loud enough, it'll start feeding back, and that'll give you that Jimi Hendrix sound. You know, you can get into the Hendrix thing. Okay, so back where we're up here at the 12th fret. I'm sorry, 12th is where we started, so we're up at the 14th, back up to A. The bend thing we were doing is 10 times easier now. Okay, just because you're in the middle of the strings, it's easier to bend in the middle of the whole thing than it is way down here. That hurts, but I have to show you somewhere. Okay, I'm going to make it hurt first, and I'm going to give you the easy stuff. So same thing you were doing. The notes, or if you were to look at them this way, are the same thing. So if you're playing lead guitar, sometimes you want to be way up here. This guy's down here jamming. And now you can go up here where it sounds really cool. There's that warble. That vibrato is actually what it's called. Okay, so to do that bend up here is very easy. I'm playing each note. Or you don't have to. Okay, so you get people that act like they're playing with their teeth. Guess why? You see what I was just doing there? Hammer-ons, pull-offs. You put that in front of your face, guess what it looks like you're doing? Look, I'm doing nothing. You do that to the audience, They think you're playing with your teeth. Ooh, the legend has been uncovered. I'm like the masked musician again. Or magician. Masked musician. That's who I should be. Uncover everybody's secret. So there's the secret to Jimi Hendrix playing with his teeth. See how much I'm playing with my teeth? Put it in front of your face, you're playing with your teeth, supposedly. Wow. Okay, so back up to here. You can bend all these different notes that I showed you. So we first showed you this bend. Let's do the next one up. So let's go to the B string. And because it's tuned different, we just went from what we're pretending is the 2nd fret to the 3rd fret. Actually, of course, 14 to 15. Now bend that up. So you have, now we have, so that's bent up a whole step. Whole step meaning 2 frets. And you can bend the next one. Again, I'm using this finger back here to help bend both of them. Don't keep doing it the way I'm doing. Again, I'll show it to you in context. Here it is again, it'll make sense now. I'm just playing this. That's how these bad boys do it. Okay? I'm going to show you one other thing, if you guys can handle this while you're up there. What is the other A note here? How did we get to it? We went from the 2nd fret, the pseudo 2nd fret, the pretend wannabe 2nd fret. Okay, let's call it what it is, 14th fret. We did this little thing earlier, this scale. That brings you an octave above where you started at. So you started in A. You end on A. Guess what this is? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's what that is. It's the secret to all things. Go figure. You thought it was a man on a cloud up in heaven? No, it's do, re, mi. It's the secret to the whole thing. And wouldn't it be freaky to find out if the hokey pokey is what it's really all about? That's what it's all about. Okay, back to lessons. We got that A at the top for a reason. I'm going to show you another bend. Now that you know that's there, learn it. Don't just play it, learn it. Know that that's an A. You know, don't just have to go through this every single time to try to find that note. Okay, just figure out, okay, that's an A. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be an A. Okay, so the 2nd dot on the high E string past the beginning of the guitar. Guess what? 2nd dot past the beginning of the guitar. It's still going to be A. 2nd dot past the pretend beginning of the guitar. It's still going to be an A. Okay, what we're going to do is get another A. What we're going to do is get it from here on our B string. We're going way up here. We're going all the way up to the 20th fret. Okay, so if you can count 3 frets past where you're at here, and then put your ring finger on the B string. That's the note you should have. So you've got A, and then this is actually G. But what we want to do is take that note, bend it up. So it's the same as that A. That's a toughie, because you don't have a finger behind here to help you. You'll know when you have them, you can play them together. Play both strings with your pick at the same time. You'll hear this undertone. Undertone means a low note that comes out of nowhere for no weird reason other than it's in the flippin' twilight zone. Listen, while those high notes are going, you'll hear this That's a demon from hell, kids. No, I'm teasing. But that is something that nobody can really explain. Anyway, nobody as smart as me can explain. But listen, while I'm doing this, it sounds like somebody growling back there. Hear that? Listen one more time. Okay, weird. Who knows why, but it's happened on there. People accuse people of backmasking and doing weird, devilish things on the records back when, and making people kill their parents and stuff because of the devil music. No, it's just weird things that just happen because they happen. There's things called circumstance or coincidence. It just happens. Okay, so that's another note for you. And what's cool is you can actually go ahead, now that I showed you, so that's all you hear. I know, I'm giving you some hard stuff. But by golly, like I said, I'm taking you from beginner to intermediate, and dang, like I said, the only thing from here on out to becoming a pro is actually getting paid for it. So that's the only difference. I get you there quicker than nobody, kiddies. Hang on. The other thing is, take that finger, and if you're not going to play the high note, the A, here, go ahead and have fun. This here's where it gets fun. Get that note ready on that G note, the one you're bending. Take that finger, put it back here behind it, like at the 17th fret, which is actually, you know, this is like a dot, according to this, and put it behind there to help you bend. Get that warble in there, man. We're talking huge vibrato. Okay, that's where you start getting cool. Then you're back down to here. So I went. What that is that note you bent, bend it back down, and then pull off to that note that you're holding behind it here on the 17th fret. Do it on the high E string, same thing. Here's another one. Now we go here on the G string, only here. It's like this because of the way it was tuned together. Okay, so we went from, now we're doing these two on the G string, and then finally ending up on, yes, it's another A note, but we're all the way up here on the 17th fret. So we have, make up what you want, but that's as much of it as I'm going to show you because I got other things to show you. I'll show it to you in context. Okay, that little thing's stupid. You probably already know it. Take your pick, put it on your low E string, sideways, grab it. You do it little by little, it's that, but if you do it fast, it's that rock and roll thing. Scrape it down there. Okay, so you're at the end of a song. You end it that way, it's just a scraping noise. Your pick is going across the grooves that are in your string. Grab it across a few strings. If you actually take it and do it like a saw on your high E string, like you're trying to saw your string in half, and you can do it really fast, start it way back here on your high E string and start moving it like this as you're sawing. Here's what it sounds like. So if you ever have any use for that, there's a nice little trick for you. do it real quick. It's just cool. But instead of, you can actually find out where that high point is. There it is. And just tapping it on there. That's just the same way you were sawing it, but I'm hitting 2 or 3 strings. Just stuff to play around with, but it's all rock and roll. You'll hear people do it. Whatever you want to do with that, man, you can throw it in a song. Some people have done it. Some people just don't know enough. Green Day. Sorry. To do things like that. So, we'll keep on going, you know. So some people just really had no talent. Nirvana. Oh, I didn't say that. But anyway, so yeah, all these 3-chord bands, you know, they haven't even figured out how to put all that stuff in there. And sorry for the little slams, but they deserve more. Okay. The other thing I showed you we're going to do is if you take a regular D chord, again, I'll show it to you real quick with the distortion on, then we'll go back and hammer this thing out. If you're taking your regular D chord, that's right, first finger, 3rd fret, G string. Your middle finger, 2nd fret. I hope I mentioned 2nd fret before on the other one. If not, 3rd finger, 2nd fret, G string. Middle finger, 2nd fret, E string. So you're skipping a string. And, of course, right in the middle on the 3rd fret. And play 4 strings. There's your D. Okay, so you have D. Now what I'm going to do now is have you pull off your middle finger. I want to hear that. I want to hear some muting. Did that for you. So practice that. Make sure you can get that right, because sometimes the bottom part of one of your fingers is going to be too flabby, and you got to arch it up more so it won't go. Yeah, you got to bend them at an arch like that to let the strings through. So if you're getting that, that means you need more of an arch. Don't be lazy and let them lay flat like this. Until you arch them up, they're not going to do anything for you. Okay, so here we go into the home run, kiddies. So you're muting your D string, or a couple strings actually, down here with your palm of your hand on the strings. Again, you're kind of letting off to get that. Now we're actually going to add our pinky to the 3rd fret, right underneath our ring finger, but you can put it on the high E string. This is called a D suspended 2nd. I'm going to clean it up by turning the volume down. Work on that kind of a rhythm. But you can take that D, what determines the D is that note on the 3rd fret. That is a D note. If you take that up to G, yeah, you got to find it. Actually, I'll tell you right now, because we're almost out of time, at the 7th, 3, 5, 7, 8th fret, and make that same D chord again. Now there's G. And do the same thing. But in order to make that open one, when you pull it off the finger, you're actually going to have to reconfigure your stuff. So you got to take your middle finger, put it where your first finger was. So you put it up there, and your first finger has to go all the way back to the 5th fret on the high E string. And what you can do now that you're up here, because your fingers can reach, is make your pinky go all the way up here to the 10th fret. So up a whole step from where it's at, 2 frets. And move this whole thing up a whole step, 2 frets. Up to A. And if you want to finish it out, what do? Pretend that's the beginning of the guitar again. Play your D where you normally would. Okay, so that's that. With distortion, you can do cool stuff. As you wish. You just play around with all this stuff, okay? Just bang on these things, make them your own. Don't do exactly what I'm doing, but use this as a guide and make up your own stuff. You will start hearing songs you've heard a million times by doing this stuff. Like... that's just an A I showed you. Adding that note, then this thing I just showed you. Adding the pinky, that's all that is. Last thing, harmonics, real quick. I know I'm out of time. I'm looking at my clock here. If you go to the 7th fret while we're in D, 7th fret, that's your 3rd dot. Put your fingers over on top of it. Hit the 3 middle strings. Actually, your D string, B string, and G string in the middle. Sorry, out of order. D, G string, B string. But you're touching them right above the frets. You're not pushing down. You're just touching them and letting go. Right on top of the fret, but touching them. Take your finger off. Those are called harmonics. You can do it at the 7th fret. That is a D chord. If you do it at the 12th, that is a G chord. And another G, if you can get it, is at the 5th fret. Okay, so you start messing with those. If you want to look cool, do it over top. Another cool thing is you can bend your neck without breaking it. Unless you have a whammy bar. Okay, so that's all the time I got for all the toys today. I'm going to shut my guitar down. Once again, Scott Grove, man, get out there and work on it. You guys are going to be pros now. After this, work on it for a year, and you'll be a pro. I do have other lead guitar stuff out, but this should take you from the beginning video we first had all the way to Prosville, kids. So once again, Scott Grove here. Come back, see me, come say thanks, please do. I want you to. I want to hear from you guys. So anyway, get out there, become rock stars, make me proud. I want free tickets to the arena, wherever you're performing. If you ever get anywhere near Las Vegas, man, come out and give me a holler, give me an email. I want to come to the show, okay? You guys take care. Play loud. Bye.